It's Tiffany's Content with your daily weather. We do still have a lot going on. We're going to talk about it on the West Coast and the Gulf Coast and even in the Midwest and going up to the Northeast. But take a look at all these lightning and thunderstorms working its way right into the Gulf Coast near Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, even Florida and Georgia will get a piece of the action. It's even lightning and thunderstorms in Texas too. So just be aware it's moving on in. And you can see it right here on the satellite imagery. It's still just bubbling up. A lot of convection. It's so much convection in there that it's just going to bring a lot of rain when it hits, okay? And it's early as this morning, moving right into Sunday as well. And you can just see how it's hammering the Gulf Coast and will be moving right into Florida and going up that northeast coast, okay? So just make sure that you're aware when you're traveling, okay? You can see all that lightning and thunderstorms just a stationary, just sitting right there in Louisiana, definitely taking a toll on Lake Charles and moving in, okay? So I like to always show you all the video images that they do have out. Let's look at all those current watches and warnings on the West Coast. Still flooding activity, winter activity in Colorado. Even the Midwest got fall winter activity in Illinois. It's so foggy, and even ice and winter mixed over there on the northeast, and that Gulf Coast is just at its third or fourth round already. So let's take a look at the hazards for today. And again, that West Coast is coming in with all that rain, that atmospheric river. Also in Alaska still have all that, cold in there, and that Gulf Coast has flooding, definitely flooding, and then even flooding more in Illinois. It's so foggy up there as well. So it's a lot going on as things are trying to melt down. So just be aware of all these, hazards that's going on, especially when you're traveling. That atmospheric river haven't even gotten over to the West Coast and it's already flooded. But let's take a look at that action, and you can see that West Coast still have that rain over there, mostly coming out of Washington and Oregon. But as it meets up with, that Great Falls, it's turning into snow and causing more snowstorms when it comes down through Colorado and even on the top of Texas. But all that rain is still going to be coming in today, okay? Definitely in the Gulf Coast. This is just for today, and that is a lot of rain along with the flooding that we already have down there. And just look at that pocket sitting right there above Texas and going right into Oklahoma, and then of course you got it moving into the Tennessee and even the Midwest, going into the Northeast. This is for the next few days. Again, it's still flooding again in the Gulf Coast going up that northeast, so please be aware. And it's so foggy in that Midwest, and look at that West Coast. It's going to get hammered with the atmospheric river in the next few days. All that rain is flowing in, and the National Weather Service is definitely highlighting some important areas right there in the Gulf Coast for that severe lightning and thunderstorm, excessive rainfall, flash flood warnings, and even tornadic activity when it's highlighted like this, okay? These are special weather outlooks, and it definitely is giving you a heads up on the severe weather that we can have. And it's definitely got some flooding in there, and we just had that last night, and even in the West Coast. So again, it's a lot of rain out there, so be aware, please, everybody, okay? Even on that West Coast, still coming in, but it's moving up that northeast coast, okay? And a lot of cars are flooded today. A lot of houses are even flooded. So just make sure you're aware. This is the current map. You're going to see all that heavy rain is still red. It's still heavy down there. Even that freezing ice up there in the northeast, and then that snow is coming in, in Colorado, moving into New Mexico, and even Oklahoma and Texas. And then you got that rain, atmospheric river on the West Coast with freezing rain too, and then that severe weather and thunderstorms in the Gulf Coast moving up the northeast. And that Midwest is so foggy, people cannot see. The fog is up all the way to the buildings and going down to the ground. So it's just a lot of fog out there. I'm going to show you some images in a minute. But again, for the next few days, expect the lightning and thunderstorms to move out of the Gulf but go up towards that northeast. And again, you still got that atmospheric river coming on the west, but that Midwest is going to be foggy and rainy today. this is what we have right now. All that lightning and thunderstorms, I showed you that video. It's moving in right now as I speak, okay? And it's nothing to play with. When it's serious like that, it can cause a lot of things, okay? So make sure that you're subscribing. I'm here daily. I'm going to keep you updated. And look at the temperatures for today. Everything is starting to warm up, but remember, it's still cold air out there, and that's what's causing all the strange weather. But 81 in Florida, and then you also got more 11 in, you know, the Idaho and the mountains. And then it's going to drop down to 7 and 8 degrees tonight, even 5 down there towards Colorado. It's going to be cold, but definitely still warmer than, you know, it used to be. And look at that. The Gulf is still, you know, warm, sprucing up those storms. Switching gears up to the northeast, look at all that pink is that ice and that blue is that snow, and this is moving right in for this morning going into the afternoon, and it'll finally move out tonight. But it's still a lot of freezing rain and ice up there. You can even see it on this video image here, and you can see all that blue is that snow, and that green is all that rain, and that red, even that yellow is lightning and thunderstorms that are moving in, and also that ice over there too with the blue. So just make sure that you're aware all those clouds, those icy clouds are still above there, dropping down into freezing rain or freezing fog, definitely taking a toll on the travelers, the drivers, and even all that slippery and sliding can bring black ice. And I told you, it's still ice out there, okay? 1/10 of an inch is dangerous, and that's what we have. Even going up to 1/2 of an inch in certain areas with that yellow. And then look over to the Midwest, still ice in Wisconsin and even, you know, Detroit. So just make sure that you're aware of it, okay? And just looking at this video image, and you can see it. All that ice is moving in, and that snowfall and all that cold air coming out of Wisconsin, dipping right into Illinois, bringing a foggy sensation over there. In fact, let's switch gears, and I'm going to show you all that fog that's in Illinois right now. And this is definitely going right into the weekend with all this dense fog through tonight especially. So make sure when you wake up that you may even expect fog then too, but it's foggy over there with all this crazy weather. So just make sure that you're slowing down. It's mostly in the central and southeast Illinois, okay? And so visibility can be very dangerous when you're driving. They're definitely putting out these alerts for a reason. Let's switch gears and see what's going on down south. This is more towards Colorado, moving into, you know, Texas, even Oklahoma. You're going to see all these counties definitely still have, you know, winter weather highlights, okay? So just make sure you're aware it's still snow down on the ground. It's still definitely, you know, sprucing up in those mountains, definitely bringing on some cold activity, meeting with those lightning and thunderstorms. So we still have winter advisories out here, and so much fog, don't forget, in Louisiana, okay? Along with that flooding activity, it's dangerous down there, and it's moving on over through Mississippi Valley, even through Alabama. They have watches and warnings out there, expecting a lot of potential rainfall, up to, you know, 1.5 inches in certain areas of Alabama at one given point, okay? So that's where all that flash flood warnings can come in at. And just make sure that you're aware of all these alerts and these watches and warnings that they are putting out. We're going to switch gears. We're going to watch Tropical Tidbits GFS model and take a look at the run for the entire week. And just today, all that sprucing up storms is in the Gulf Coast, moving on up to that northeast coast. Definitely going to have raining activity this weekend mixed with that snow, okay? It's still got snow up there, and it's going to take a toll on that this weekend. Moving into the Midwest again, going into the, you know, next week, you're going to even see all this activity in the atmosphere. And look at all that rain, that atmospheric river coming in on the west coast, and it's going to bring snow along with that too, and sleet, also freezing rain. Look at that east coast is going to be sprucing up again. So it's not over. We're going right into the first week of February right now, and you can see it is not over yet. We still have winter activity going on, so make sure that you're aware. This is February 7th right now. Again, that's looking out far, but I like to keep you alert to let you know that it's not over. Stay tuned to Tiffany's Content. It's Tiffany's Content. Like, share, subscribe.